Hi, this is Mark with ValueCharts.com. I wanted to show you how I drill down to try to increase the precision of my entries. Let's take a look at the crude oil market. I'm going to draw a trend line here first. These are always important to draw and understand because these can oftentimes define important support and resistance levels. Now, one of the reasons why I think there's a good chance crude oil could bottom out here is because we do have this trend line that crude oil broke up through, and then we're now looking at the classic crude oil trend line retest. So this sets the stage for creating my outlook, and my outlook is that we are potentially reaching a bottom point here. And then when you take the fact that we are trading at the moderately undervalued valuation zone as well, this creates a more compelling picture that we could be looking at a possible corrective bottom here on a longer term basis. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my 120-minute charts here so you can see what I'm doing, and those will be intraday and 120 minutes. Now notice we are looking at drilling down to a smaller or shorter time frame. Again, any obvious trend lines that I can find, I'm going to go ahead and draw because these sometimes can give us an idea of where the market might find support and resistance levels. Notice again this trend line right here, we came right down and seemed to touch it with the previous bar's low, trading again in moderately undervalued on a 120-minute basis. But notice if I take the previous low on the 120-minute chart here yesterday at a low of 92.63, today's price action you can see with the previous bar actually traded below this low. So we took out the low the previous day, cleaned out all the stops, but notice the MQ momentum indicator below actually has a much higher reading. This is what we call a bullish divergence. So combining the weekly outlook, which is bullish, looking at potential support on the weekly trend line, I've now drilled down to 120-minute charts. I'm using the value bars indicator here to guide me in terms of buying undervalued. So I'm looking to buy moderately undervalued here. That's a good time certainly. And then beyond that, we see the very nice bullish divergence as well. Now it's quite possible to even drill down beyond this, and if you do that, you're going to notice that that we have kind of a longer term similar situation. We see higher values here with the indicator line, even though the market did dip down temporarily and take out the previous stops. Now notice also on a 30-minute basis, look what we see right when we touch that trend line in taking out the previous lows. We see the 30-minute bars poking down into significantly undervalued. Those can be very, very good turning points and sometimes very low risk turning points in the markets. And the idea is we want to make sure that the market is not entering a period of value migration, but just markets just having the normal price discovery process of trying to find fair value with the ebb and the flow of buyers and sellers conducting business. So that's what we saw here. We believe is just kind of taking out the previous stops. We found support on this trend line and then also poke down into significantly undervalued. That would have been a very high precision potential entry point there, but I still think in general this whole region represents a fairly good buying opportunity. Just taking a quick look at the 60-minute bars. One last thing I'll point out is that we have a very nice yellow tipped doji here. And obviously I don't have the candlestick pattern showing, candle bar showing right now, but you can see this doji pattern. The open is right next to the close, and then the bottom portion of this price bar is trading and within the moderately undervalued valuation zone. So this is actually bullish as well. Combining all of these things together, I am optimistic that we could be looking at higher crude oil prices here near term and possibly looking to put in a meaningful short-term low here in the crude oil market. If we break the low of today, that would be a cautionary note, and that would advise us to rethink our support level on the weekly trend line. But as it stands right now, I think we're in pretty good shape. That's all we have for this video. Have a great weekend and good luck trading.